Okay, thank you for inviting me. I'm going to read from A Furious Oyster. It has several chapters, and I think every one of them is written from a different voice. So I like to say that this one is written from the voice of a hotel owner who is grieving over a loss. A single night of love. The ship itself suggests a transitory shape, a reality that will ultimately come to port, a floating temporality you will choose later whether or not to anchor. It does not matter if your partner has been with you for days or months or years or decades. Tonight is a single night of love. Now that you've embarked, carry out your ideas well and with pleasure. Focus on both yourself and the one you touch and concern with others aboard. Tonight will take place in a boat that crosses time zones, erasing the clear meaning of night. For a single night of love, put on your best dress, silk patterned with tiny flowers, or your best suit, gabardine paired with simple and elegant tie. Equivalents are welcomed. If you're not wearing your best clothes, imagine you are. Look down at your living hand and marvel at its movement. For a single night of love contains all nights and encompasses both youth and age. A single night of love is a brush against eternity. An aneurysm, the medical textbooks say, is a bulge or balloon in the wall of an artery, a vessel that carries oxygen-rich blood from the heart. If the artery that ruptures is in the head, blood flows into the brain, causing a stroke. If this occurs, medical attention is required immediately. Silly creature. Of course he'd go out on his skiff with just one other friend, just one other person, a friend with whom I'm still not on speaking terms. He put out his hand on his head and began to shiver and then simply fell in the water, according to his friend, who maintains that by the time he realized what was happening and could get the boat to shore to phone for help, it was too late. Trawlers were sent out, but nothing was found. The mere thought of that so-called friend, that shifty character, fills me with rage. But I don't have the funds to pay for lawyers or the strength to fight the bureaucracy. What's more, if I probe within myself, I hit my own deep-down belief, my ocean floor, that this friend is simply too stupid to have told a lie. Certainly, he received no money from events, as the small amount in the will went directly to me. Even if the friend's story were true, however, it remains impossible for me to confirm his version of the facts. Everything happened at sea, and though I received the death certificate, I never did see the body. A tiny, hateful part of me suspects that he took the first open opportunity for escape, not necessarily with a woman, just to feel free. He had that side to him, I know. It's why he had joined the import-export profession, after all. The body is a mysterious thing. One needs to see it before one can really believe in a death. A tiny part of me still expects my man to show up at any moment, stopping at the front gate to check in as a joke, just like any other lover. Of course, he'd find a welcome in this marine paradise. My man never did appear, but what did were the consolations. They don't appear as people, but rather as objects or presences. Although that isn't quite right either. How to describe something like the voice of a person just out of sight? They started to come after he was gone, when I was left to run things on my own. I had the help of the staff and his money, certainly, but I was still alone. I began to hear people whispering things to help me, advice. I don't know whether those voices are really there or not, but they brought me serenity. They helped talk me through my situation, suggesting new paths, pointing out what I needed to do. The consolations. I knew they were not what one might call real, but they were real to me and gave me company. Before, the facts had floated inside me and swum in a sea around me, and I felt like a boat struggling to avoid floating debris. I even begun to feel myself turning physically into a boat. My skin began to feel hard and unyielding, and one morning when I passed a mirror, my back was curved as a hull. I wouldn't have minded being a boat and simply floating away, but I forced myself to return to my body. My body, it now seemed to me something near miraculous. During my time on Earth, I decided I want to explore the possibilities of the skin, to understand what there is beyond words, beyond the convolutions of the mind. The frequencies of the voices decrease in proportion to the distance and time from my husband's death. I hate how predictable that is, and I hate how aware I am of how complex the mind can be, how in the attempt to give itself help, it can create realities that others would not recognize. I miss the soothing remarks, but know I cannot trust them. I must look to real consolations, my own actions and the kind words of people in this world, the movements of my own weak body. Okay, I feel like that was an intense section, actually. I'll read a different section. Resurrection and fury, notes for a poem. Resurrection is the moment one visits life again. Fury is the energy that enables it. Resurrection is the possibility produced during an electrical storm. Fury is the lightning. Resurrection is the appearance of old shells on new beaches. Fury is the seas tossing them ashore. Resurrection is the choice of whether to intervene or let present flow. Fury is the act of choosing. I'll just leave it there. Okay.